Coming up on today's wrestling news, Triple H makes a huge creative change on NXT. 2 extra stipulation matches have been planned for an insane Royal Rumble card. CM Punk has reunited with AEW's Dax Harwood, and a former WWE champion speaks on a future Hall of Fame induction. I'm Adam Wilborn.
I'm bringing back cardigans for those of us too fat for Christmas jumpers.
I love it, and this is the news. So let's start with Papa H and NXT then, because Triple H, as he has done for the most part since taking over control of WWE, is doing the sensible thing and quite rightly getting plaudits for it. Because you know how your favourites were in NXT and then they'd be called up and, well, ruined on the main roster, but which is a double whammy, because not only did that happen, but any storyline they were involved in NXT, whoop, they were just lifted straight out of it. Well, Triple H is now giving those within NXT a time to finish up their storylines and just tidy everything up before they head up to the main roster. Now, this is according to WWE Senior Vice President of Live Events, Brian Road Dog James, on his podcast, which is a podcast that's out there. Ours is better. WhatCulture Wrestling, wherever you get your podcasts from. He says he, Triple H, pronouns pal, understands much more about giving fair warning so you can write the person out or write the person off or whatever you're going to do. It gives you time to prepare creatively for that. He continues, I think everybody understands, at least let me beat him on the way out or let me do something to close the book on his character or whatever. Give us time to create something. I think that'll happen a lot now. Again, like I said at the beginning, Hamflet, an open goal, but glad that he's actually tapped it in.
Absolutely, absolutely. Like a good take from Road Dogg here, a stopped cock is right twice a day. The fact of the matter is with Triple H and NXT is that he, more than anyone, should understand how problematic that was previously when his characters would be lifted out of stories. And I think if you were a fan of NXT and WWE, you were frustrated both ways, because you were frustrated watching NXT and then you were frustrated to watch them suffer on the main roster when that was supposed to be the thing that vindicated what you'd invested in NXT.
Yeah, like their coronation almost.
Kind of, yeah. And WWE would chase the pops, say like the night after WrestleMania when an NXT person would debut. But then with no story on Raw, the pops would disappear. Plus you'd lost something on NXT. So you've effectively lifted, potentially, not all the time obviously, 2 negatives out of a situation and made a positive. The obvious example at the moment we're seeing is with Solo Sikoa.
Yeah.
The guy was on a tear in NXT, won and then had to abdicate the NXT North American title as part of his call-up and is now thriving as a member of the Bloodline. It felt like they developed him as far as he could go as a babyface, and then the character is almost immediately evolved on the main roster. It's never going to be perfect. There will be times where somebody will just gain huge traction, or maybe Triple H will just fancy plug in a gap, I guess, on the main roster. But this is a tale as old as time within WWE. We all remember the Jim Cornette OVW stories of his Basham and Damage, a year-long program with Polax, because we're going to bring them up as a tag team and call them the Bashams and have them lose almost immediately.
Someone shave their heads as well.
Yeah. So it's just, this is something that's existed within WWE's mechanisms for years that, as you say, it's maybe not the sort of thing we should all be doing backflips to praise Triple H on, but it makes sound logical sense to just do it. This feels like, how was this not happening before? Take 1,000.
Yeah, exactly.
He's got the job.
Yeah, and it's another one of those now where we are, you and I report on NXT on a weekly basis, and we are genuinely campaigning for people to move up to the main roster because we have confidence that they won't ruin a Cameron Grimes or
and Carmelo Hayes, the big one. Every title shot feels like the last one because he's so ready to go.
Exactly. But they will be wrapping up any storylines that they have going on in NXT first, which is, great decision and exciting to see what happens next. Where some of those NXT stars could show up, of course, is the Royal Rumble match. So excited about that already. Now, don't worry, everyone. We are not going to spoil what happened on the tape SmackDown because this has sort of come about as a result of it. But we are going to tell you some rumoured matches. Just rumours that could be going on WWE's first premium live event of the year. WrestlingNews.co coming through the report of this. We sort of discussed previously that there may be a pitch black match featuring Bray Wyatt versus L.A. Knight. What a guy he is. But also now, at the Rumble, Hell in a Cell match. Edge versus Finn Balor. Obviously, we haven't seen Edge since he lost the I Quit match, where they threatened to kill his wife and then did.
Yeah, it's the complete opposite of the traditional, can we give that B-plus player a title match at the Rumble? Yeah, because it's the Rumble. No, this is a enormous WrestleMania-scale stipulation match on a card that already has two of the most beloved stipulations of the year, a potential new one with this Bray Wyatt thing, and possible other singles/tag title matches.
Yeah, you could assume certain matches could be going down on this
Exactly,
show.
yeah. You're looking at already a card that kind of books itself, especially in the era of two Rumbles. It's a card that typically books its undercard itself now, and then we're adding two monstrous matches on. Triple H recently, I don't know what to make of this Hell in a Cell rumor, because Triple H recently said he wanted Hell in a Cell specifically off the calendar because he wants the stipulation to matter again.
Yes.
Good thing. I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah.
Edge and Finn Balor is a stipulation that at this point justifies it on account of how the Judgment Day brutally assaulted Beth Phoenix at Extreme Rules, forced him to surrender, then did it anyway, and concerted. But at the Rumble, I don't know.
I said, the moment you said this to me, I said, well, if you want to be in something that people can't get into to fight each other and take really horrible bumps, the Chamber's the next month. I'm not saying that you put them in an Elimination Chamber match. I'm saying it's going to be there, built for the ring.
Yeah.
Just say, we've never done it before, we're going to have a one-on-one match inside the Elimination Chamber, or something along those lines. Or, as Sid suggested, save Hell in a Cell for Mania. It's very much a statement, this, isn't it? But you always said, don't judge Triple H on the latter end of this year.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, SummerSlam was his first premium live event, but it was kind of already done by the time he took the reins. Survivor Series, yes, was enjoyable with War Games, but it's always going to be, right, 2023 is your first full year in charge of WWE. And like you say, off the top of your head, no spoilers in this, by the way, I have no idea what happened on this tape SmackDown. You could assume, like you say, 2 Royal Rumble matches, this pitch black match, no idea what that even is, lights out, but then they did a lights out match in WWE on granted on NXT.
They didn't have the fireflies in the NXT, but Roman Reigns on the poster.
Roman Reigns issued a title match. Bianca, Alexa, potentially.
Possibly. Ronda's on the poster too.
Becky versus Bayley.
Yeah.
Well,
I think they've
starting strong.
A hot shot on that on Raw tonight, I believe.
Oh.
I think so.
Yeah, but...
Yeah, rematch.
Do it again.
I do get it, actually. You kind of maybe, in terms of the Judgment Day, you probably do want to shoot your wad with Edge and Finn Balor at the Rumble, because, nobody's going to be able to take Dominic Mysterio's heat on the grandest stage, are they? So if you're going to
This guy gets it.
If you're going to do Rhea on one night, Dominic on the other.
Is that before or after he wins the Royal Rumble?
Oh, yeah. Why not both?
Well, speaking of potential Royal Rumble winners, CM Punk! He's been hanging out with Dax Harwood. There was an Instagram story shot of the two together. Obviously, Dax Harwood has praised Punk greatly, especially his involvement within AEW, described here as an acrimonious split, which is... a fair assessment of what happened. Look, I think, you and I could probably point to quite a few people who openly were supporters of CM Punk. I think Powerhouse Hobbs, Ricky Starks, a few others.
Yeah,
Darby Allin said that they learnt a lot from him, and it was nice to have him in and around. Other people...
Bobby Fish has brought him up.
Yeah,
I forget the context, but...
Other people, not so much.
Yeah.
But Dax Harwood, yes, clearly a fan and friend of Punk's, and nice to see that he's not been given the cold shoulder by everyone in the wrestling community.
Yeah, it's telling really that this is nothing, and yet it's still a story. The two friends have met up for Christmas food or drinks or whatever.
Discuss their return to WWE, I think.
Well, indeed, yeah. But the story is a story, and why we're talking about it now is just because I think any sort of spot of CM Punk in the wild, I guess, is a story within itself. Almost as if he's worth keeping around. He's not technically... gone from AEW yet. We're at Adley's track, but we're at the point where it's still contract negotiations. He's never coming back was the last words, but contractually that's not out there yet. If this is a story, if people are talking about it, if the picture gets shared far and wide, maybe consider what his value might be to your brand, to your company, especially because the other company, we assume, will be monitoring the situation very closely.
Yeah, exactly.
As you say, what if both of these men are going over there this time next year?
But at the end of the day, I haven't got a dog in this fight, mainly because of what happens to dogs in that company. But let's move on and talk about a possible Hall of Fame induction that you and I would really like.
Yeah.
Just because he's a lovely bloke. Former Intercontinental Champion Mark Mero was discussing a potential Hall of Fame induction nearly 25 years on from his last appearance with the company. Speaking to WrestlingNews.co, he said, "If I am or I'm not, it changes nothing in my life. I'll be doing the same thing I love doing. It's great to be honoured for something you enjoy doing. Someone like me or Dallas, Diamond Dallas Page, of course, should be considered for the Warrior Award. Go out there and do something for the community. I've only hoped that WWE would have seen the connection we could have had with school programs to inspire students together." Mero added that he'd be glad of Page to induct him too, saying he knows me better than most people do. What a lovely bloke Mark Mero is.
Yeah, it's nice this. It's good, I think, look, the Warrior Award is a very contentious and controversial thing, even what it was supposed to be versus what it's become, you know, in kind of WWE's hold as the evil empire over pro wrestling. But Mero is, I think, at least acknowledging what purpose it can serve for the people themselves. Certain wrestlers don't care about the Hall of Fame. Certain wrestlers do. Certain wrestlers just get that nice night, and there's nothing inherently wrong with that. And it's almost sweeter of Mero to want the nice night for the nice things than the wrestling. I've got very fond memories of Wild Man Mark Mero. A lot of people like Marvelous Mark Mero. A lot of a colleague in this very office's father has a very, very vivid and wonderful memory of a Mark Mero mixed tag match from 1998. So like he's left an in-ring legacy for sure. Johnny B. Bad, of course, in WCW. But this is good stuff too. We've often talked about Dallas Page's legacy. Is even more powerful outside the ring than all the wonderful memories he made in it. There's lots to be said for Mero doing school talks and inspirational, motivational speaking rather than a year hitting people with a low blow dressed as a boxer. You know, it's all of it can be good and nice. And if the Hall of Fame can afford that nice night for people, who's anybody to step in the way of that?
Is it time for me to start my Victoria for the Hall of Fame thing again yet?
Oh, yeah.
What are they playing at?
Like, people love those campaigns anyway, but Victoria would be a supremely popular one. Molly Holly got in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Through Phil's muscle and power. Like, Jeff Jarrett got signed for AEW. Like, we can manifest. We should remember.
Be the change you want to be.
Exactly.
But yeah, I'd love to see Mark Mero in there. Lovely guy. Deserves a Hall of Fame spot, in my opinion. And maybe take a few of the people who are in there out. Right, let's move on to your Twitter questions at WhatCulture WWE, of course, if you want to get in touch with us. First question today comes from the great Damo, who says, finish work, tuned into the news and now have an urge for McDonald's. That was us discussing our food orders, I think, the day after the Christmas party. Apologies for that. It was a bit all over the place.
I've got an urge for breakfast now. Thanks very much.
Yeah.
Sausage
Can't wait for that.
Yeah.
It's Christmas. Gotta keep warm, eh? Damo says, my question for the next time, whilst I'm here, favourite pay-per-view of the year, any company?
Can I have two?
No.
Oh,
right, go on then.
Do you know what?
Because I like you.
Favourite pay-per-view altogether, I think, was Forbidden Door, because I think it was an incredible over-delivery on a pretty lousy build. Typically, companies working together is never as exciting as you manifest it in your mind. Like, and AEW didn't book a particularly thrilling run to the show.
And we didn't have Danielson,
No, hampered by the planned Punk Tanahashi match that didn't go ahead. You know, that got dropped, but Moxley got in its place. And then on the night, pretty much everything delivered. Ospreay, Orange Cassidy was fantastic. Moxley, Tanahashi was this worthy and brilliant main event. The card, top to bottom, was tremendous. Obviously, for being there live affects your emotions and your biases. WrestleMania Night 1 was absolutely incredible, but it's hard to classify it as one of the greatest WrestleManias of all time because now you have to tack on Night 2, which I would say stands up as maybe one of the worst pay-per-views of the entire year. You, of course, I know, would disagree.
Yeah, I was going to say Forbidden Door, and then I remembered I didn't know anyone on the card, so that's disregarded. I'm going to say WrestleMania Night 1 and Night 2 because it was the perfect pay-per-view. WrestleMania Night 1 was one of my favourite ever nights as a wrestling fan.
Yeah, incredible.
I got to see, very selfishly, and you know, thanks to you guys for supporting the channel and allowing us to go and do this for, work. I got to see Stone Cold Steve Austin wrestle. I never thought I'd ever be able to do that in my life. And I screamed so loud when Wrestling Has More Than One Royal Family dropped and Cody Rhodes came out. I forgot to breathe and nearly blacked out. No word of a lie.
Honestly,
and then I also got to see Johnny Knoxville fight, and I got to acknowledge my tribal chief on Night 2. So I don't know what you're complaining about, to be honest.
It took me a little while to get there, but by Wales's Clash at the Castle, I too was there and wanted to be one of the ones. And I think this question has come because it's been a hell of a year for pay-per-views. Like Clash at the Castle was a strong event. AEW still delivers more than it doesn't on pay-per-view, even if the shows feel like they run a little bit too long sometimes. And then, of course, there was which one am I forgetting? We don't want to heap praise on the Saudi shows, but
the best crown jewel ever.
Crown jewel was kind of brilliant too. And there's just as events, there's and of course NXT Deadline. Innovates the best new wrestling stipulation of the last decade.
Another win for my boy Tony D.
Yes,
that was a great. Cameron Grimes won. Tony, I was insufferable that day.
And of course, we'd be remiss without mentioning the Royal Rumble.
It's going to be the pay-per-view of next year.
Next year's.
Actually, no, the best pay-per-view next year is going to be WrestleMania 39, which we're going to be going to.
Can't believe it.
I've said it now. They have to send
put
us.
this on camera and on podcast and stuff. The whole team, apparently.
Yes.
Just on a plane.
Also, shout out to the certainly tag match of the year, which was the Briscoes FTR at the Super.
Of course, Ring of Honor, like their pay-per-views as well. Most of them have delivered, again, more good action than not. Good year for pay-per-views and premium live events.
Correct answer, though, was WrestleMania Night 1. Senor Benja gives us our second question of the day. Oh, Senor Benja, what have you done here? Buenos dias y felices fiestas. No idea. I'm really sorry if I've butchered that. Or if I've said something offensive. I don't know. With Uncle Howdy being near its reveal, does Howdy being Bo Dallas seem like an unimaginative answer? No ill words to Bo, but it feels like Howdy could have better options. Anyone you would like?
Anyone I would like? I don't know. I don't know the answer to either.
No.
I don't know if Bo Dallas... Well, it makes me laugh on paper. That
How would it make you laugh, just visually? Tony Atlas.
Uncle Howdy, Uncle Tony. I just don't think it's fair to expect Bo Dallas to change the world as this character. I think it's an enormous amount of pressure to heap on his shoulders for a character that maybe shouldn't have been a real person in the first place. Should Uncle Howdy have not been a manifestation of Bray Wyatt a la The Fiend? I'm not saying
psychotic episode.
Yeah. I don't know. It's very, very early in the Uncle Howdy run for us to be able to know how this will all play out. Is he like he's going to wrestle looking like South Park's version of Slash from Guns N' Roses? I don't know. It's what I'm saying is that to speculate somebody else other than Bo Dallas feels cruel because the whole thing feels like a poisoned chalice.
Yeah.
I just don't know. Yeah, Bo Dallas.
Bo Dallas is poison chalice.
There we go. We've got a thing for it now.
Yeah.
So it's possibly going to be him, and it would be cruel at this point with the character being 3 days old to say, this is going to be a laughing stock and a failure. But it didn't feel great on night one.
See, I think that's done deliberately. I think it was a bit of a botch, like you say, the laughing track wasn't synced up with the right. First of all, if it's going to be Dallas,
Bo Dallas, that's like Green Giant.
If it is going to be him, you know what you could just do? Bo leave, and there you go.
Yeah.
Or
Good.
I haven't seen them in the same place, so I mean either Cameron Grimes, but then again I don't want to bury him. I want him to be Cameron Grimes on the main roster, but I think he could pull off anything. I love him. I think he's fantastic. Or seeing as how that was a botch, and on the show we also got merge them together. Top Dollar,
Uncle Dollar. I do quite like that. When Triple H inevitably breaks
that's what you say. Money.
To be fair to Bo Dallas, of course, he did originate the Strowman Express when he nailed El Torito that time doing his thumbs up run around thing. So if Uncle Howdy holds his jacket lapels like that and runs around doing a Strowman Express to knock people over as Bray Wyatt fights, might stand a chance.
Santosaurus Jr. gives us our final question of the day, saying, hear me out. AEW should run a shared custody angle with Darby Allin, Sting and Tony Hawk. Sting and Tony take turns to manage Darby, then bicker about his behaviour over WhatsApp. Payoff is a ladder match over who gets to pick up Darby from the park. Thoughts?
Can we replace Park with Terrapin Sanctuary because Darby Allin likes turtles? And I don't remember seeing his parent on that video. Or anyone that was supposed to be carrying him that day. So maybe Sting or Tony Hawk was off to the side when he was being interviewed by that news broadcast.
That also always reminds me of the compilations of the great news reports.
Yeah.
And hey, we're here outside. A lot of the kids getting excited for 4th of July. What are the big fireworks of this year? Wouldn't you like to know, Weather Boy? Oh, cool. The kids just ethered you off the face of the planet.
It would be an amazing twist on these A-level media studies videos that Darby Allin makes, where you think he's about to jump off a bridge or something.
We were talking about that on the Christmas party where he did jump off a bridge this year.
We were walking across a high bridge and we were like, Darby Allin jumped off one of these. If he's about to do something crazy like that, or I don't know, backflip on a skateboard over his house.
Yeah.
And then it's right about to happen, and then you just see the scruff of his neck getting grabbed.
Come here.
And it's like Sting's chin from the tease with the Undertaker. Whose hand was it? Tony Hawk's or Sting's?
It's the Undertaker.
It's Sting's chin.
Speaking of which, do you see Undertaker and Tony Hawk hanging out this weekend?
No.
Undertaker on a weird weekend. I've got some photos to show you.
What?
Speaking of which, let's move on to today's and finally. And look, obviously, all the reports around Mandy Rose's release and the stuff that went down with all that were awful last week. So I'm trying to find a glimmer of hope in all this.
Okay.
Because it was all a bit sudden, like we reported the decision. Right, Roxanne Perez, you're fighting for the title tonight. Bollocks, we're not doing it at the next premium live event or anything like that, or New Year's Evil. But she has become NXT Women's Champion. You and I have thought she has been fantastic from the moment she's arrived in NXT. And just nice to see wrestlers getting the hometown support that they deserve. Just a lovely thing on the motorway, I suppose, in Laredo, Texas, that says, congrats to Laredo's Roxanne Perez, NXT Women's Champion. I thought that was lovely.
Oh, that is really nice.
It's just
really
something
cool.
genuinely heartwarming to start your Monday off with.
That was the sort of thing you'd want your mum and dad to drive past.
Yeah. That's
nice.
awesome, that.
That's good.
And congratulations to Roxanne Perez, and here's to...
Awesome, that. I thought you were going to be gross.
No.
I feel wrong-footed in the best way.
There you go.
I'm going to buy you a coffee when we finish recording.
When you... What is it? Zig a zag.
That's it, yeah.
We're a bit like Zig and Zag, aren't we? That's going to pass over so many people's heads. If you don't know who Zig and Zag are, educate yourself, you bunch of idiots. Also,
if you're in the UK, get onto BBC 4 and watch this week's Top of the Pops 1993, because Mr. Blobby goes back to Christmas #1, and the presenters will take that fan, and he's so furious about it. Says, just so you take that fans know, they lost by 5,000 record sales. Anyway, Merry Christmas, goodbye. And that's how Top of the Pops goes off the air, because Blobby got it done.
Take that in the mud, you love to see it.
Yeah, Babe sucked as well. Terrible record. Not the film. Babe was fine. Babe, Babe 2 Pig in Town, not so good. But the song was pretty good.
Yeah. Right, let us know your thoughts on that and all of today's news stories in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to What Culture Wrestling wherever you get your podcasts.
Bet Mr. Blobby paid all his tax.
Daily Wrestling Podcast, me and him, we're going to chat about the greatest SmackDown ever. And Rampage, I suppose, we'll talk about that as well later. As well as previewing Monday Night Raw. Thoughts, Twitter questions, all that good stuff on Twitter at WhatCultureWWE. Watch, they can follow both of us. You can follow Michael Hamflet at
Michael Hamflet.
Follow me at Adam Wilborn. Follow us all at WhatCultureWWE, as I said. But for now, my thanks to Michael Hamflet. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you soon.